council are okay with that, but basically, um, they are at status quo right now.
So how would council like to proceed with the tree ordinance? Do you just want to leave it as is and come back to it, lower it?
I personally think that section 4 and 11, water, sewer, building and construction are more important.
Okay. So I'll just move that to the bottom and put tabled?
I think just leave
Bottom.
it as one of the last ones.
Okay. So the animal ordinance is currently in process. The event ordinance is completed. The telecommunications is pending review.
Is that pending Ed's further review or? Okay.
Council too, I think we
Yeah.
provided to.
That's true, we can send that.
To
Yeah.
council. JB also, provided Title I and Title II is now pending review.
Yes, those were emailed to me this afternoon.
Yeah, I knew they were
Yes.
gonna be in time.
Yeah.
As a moment, Angie?
Yeah.
You'll be happy, Peter, that we were able to redline to, Title I.
Okay.
That Title II changed and reorganized so much that the redlining software just simply struck out the original and added the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So the versions that we received 2 weeks ago, there's newer versions?
There's a final, more complete version,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, great.
It won't be more than, I think the only difference in Title I was the missing period that didn't,
Yeah. Okay.
But they've also got all their headers, all of their signature block footers.
Great.
They're fully complete at this point.
Cool.
Okay, so what I would like to do is, Mayor, the update to include the pay matrix language, is that part of your wage salary update?
The pay matrix, I'm wondering if, the pay matrix itself, I wonder if it's advisable to put that in an ordinance when it can change. I think perhaps the ordinance should say council needs to adopt.
Ordinance grants authority, the matrix is, as far as I'm concerned, it's part of the handbook unless you think it should be more private.
She's asking for the authority to adopt a pay matrix and change it at the will.
The council would still have, would still be responsible for adopting a pay matrix. I'm just not sure that, for example, a fee structure, you could say you set fees. Council can approve the fees by resolution, so those things can be done by resolution, but not be in the body.
That would be consistent with what we've done in like water and other places.
Mayor, when you get a chance, take a look at the first, I think it's sections 3 or 4. In fact, if you take a look at the first 4 sections of Title II, that's where we address wages and salaries.
Okay.
And ask yourself whether or not that is granting sufficient authority for what you need done.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, so with that being said then, JB, are you wanting to do sewer water, section 4, possible bulk water rates, section 7, disposal areas, garbage, building and construction, section 11 would be our next goal?
I would agree. We've got enough people hot under the collar with water that we probably need to do it next.
Okay. And then would you like to push off business licenses, regulation, sections 5, sections 9, section 10 until 2027?
I think what we need to do is take where you have 2025 :
Yep.
and change that to 2026.
Well, what I was gonna do was I was gonna get rid of 2025 and just move everything up as pending and list each section as to where it is in the process.
I think that it's possible, water ordinance in 2026, based on our abilities at this point.
Okay.
I think that we could get done in this year, maybe 7. I don't think we could do 4 and 11 in 2026. But if we push 11, for example, to 2027, it should be first.
Okay.
At least that's my opinion.
Right, no, I would agree with that, because I feel like the, sewer water ordinance, and the water rates, bulk water rates, I think would be pending the completion of the water tower.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be a 2027. And then, then just the building and construction, section 11, is that correct, JB?
Right.
For the remainder of 2026,
If,
or 2027
well,
being first?
it would be the first out of the pipe in 2027.
Okay, so the only thing we would have left would be health and welfare, section 7. Do you want to wait until Title 1 and 2 and telecommunications is passed, or do you want to dive right in?
Other than I wouldn't mind, for personal reasons,
Agree.
delaying until the second meeting in July. Just a breather. At that point, I'm more than happy to be assigned wherever you need as president.
Okay.
And I think that we're getting better and faster at all of
Yes,
this.
I agree with that. So how about we do this, I will adjust this form,
Okay.
per what we discussed this evening, and then I will present it again at the first meeting, and then we can decide at the second meeting how to move forward. Would that be?
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
I mean, the way this is coming out, it sounds like Angie and I are developing the whole thing.
Yeah, no, anybody wants to jump in and help, happy for it.
I mean, this is a council choice. Do
Yeah.
any of you have any questions or comments or objections
Well, I
about
mean,
what's going on?
we've had some of these discussions on more, and discoveries in some of the committee meetings on where we need to work. And so I don't have any disagreement, since I work with both of you two on most of the committees anyways, and with Peter. So I don't have any disagreement with, this course of action.
I just don't want anybody feeling like Angie and I are making decisions behind the scenes.
No, not at all.
No.
Because these are all things that we've talked about, so.
And I might observe you're making proposals.
Yes.
You know, I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
It rose by any other name.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Nate, do you have any, input, considerations, concerns about this?
No, I don't have any time to help, so I don't want to open my mouth.
But no, if you have something that you think we need to look at, though, I would definitely want to hear it.
I don't think so. No, I think
No,
everything
to
is.
do, just,
Do you think you might, depending on when the construction and building section hits, do you think you might have some time to at least do a little bit of review as the committees move forward? Because your input on that section is gonna be hugely valuable.
I guess, I usually don't know until either that day or a couple days before, the way I set everything up, so just.
When we get to it,
Yes.
let's talk to Nate and see what we can do to try
I
to
have
help
a
get his input in.
January 2nd deadline on, bullseye on it, don't you think?
Yeah.
Just have to put up the bat signal for me.
The Nate signal.
the Nate signal.
Oh,
So big old
great.
big D up there.
Although January 2nd, this is about 50, 60 degrees. That's still working.
True. That's true.
That's a weird
That's
year.
true. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Now, we did touch on the telecommunications.
Have we heard anything from Ed yet?
I believe there's an email from him. I have not read it. Animal control ordinance, is there committee met
Yes.
on that?
We got the framework for, regulation of fowl. So we're going with female chickens, ducks, geese, and turkeys, under that definition of fowl. To capture most of like what 4-H is doing and what other people use for, eggs and things like that. No roosters. But I've got most of the ordinance drafted based on the 3 or 4 other ordinances that I looked at. But basically there's just a permitting section that we're looking at doing, $20 fee, which is good for whatever portion of that year that you apply for the permit, and then for one renewal, for an annual renewal after that. And then, the permits will expire annually, so they come back in and get renew it. If you don't renew it in a certain time, it'll lapse. And then, yeah, there's a whole permit section, and then the numbers of fowl that you can have, and then, types of lots they can be on, which we looked at was like single family, unimproved vacant, or multifamily if all the residents in that multifamily agree and sign off on it in writing along with the owner. Some of the other places had said absolutely not to multifamily, but I think that, I mean, if you can get everyone on board and if you want all sorts of chickens, I don't think you should prohibit that. And then after that, it would be all the requirements for like the chicken coops, types of fencing, the setbacks. It'd just be a checklist. So that's the part that I gotta finish out, just comparing the different requirements. When some of the stuff that we were looking at from the other towns, I think the setback requirements were a little prohibitive for some of our size of lots. It would mean, you know, it would effectively eliminate a lot of people from having chicken coops, which the other, you know, countervailing argument that Vivian brought up is that if you don't have the space, you shouldn't be keeping them anyway, right?
Right.
So,
But if I could,
yeah.
on the flip side, you could also apply the basic rule we have to using a residential lot for industrial or business purposes where it has to be screened with panels.
Yeah.
In other words, we're willing to allow this setback exception as long as this property is screened from the public.
Yeah, and a lot of those ordinances that we looked at had, you know, you can't have them in the front yard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotta be in the backyard, it's gotta be so far away from a neighbor's house.
I've got a lady across the street that's gonna be real upset about that one.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because her rooster wakes us up every day.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty consistent across all the ordinances that we looked at with no roosters. So, I don't know how many roosters are in town, but.
At least one.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where we're at on that. I haven't really, we've talked a bit about the dog stuff, kind of worked through some of Georgia's stuff. It's just gonna take some time to go through it.